Italian horror. It's one of my favorite. And today I want to talk about one of my favorite Italian horror directors, and one that most people are hopefully very familiar with, and that is Mario Bava. Hey Ryan, how's it going? How it's going for me is I'm almost tripping over my cord. Uh, Today we are talking about Mario Bava. Basically, we all know that there's a Blu-ray set coming out from Arrow Video that's going to have like around seven Maribava films. And actually, I'm going to read that out to you. And from there, we're going to go into a lot of stuff today. Actually, hey Tennessee, hey Livin. So we're actually going to be talking about Bava today. So hopefully, you guys are fans of Bava. Is anybody here like have a favorite Bava work? Before I get basically, I'm going to look at the stuff that's out there. I want to just look into the different stuff that by release date. Let's go with that. Okay, so while we're getting into this, I want to bring this up. So the Macabre Visions of Mary Bavas was coming out. Kill Baby Kill. I still got to get that one on Blu-ray. Is coming out on from Arrow Video. Now it is 7 movies that they previously released, but if you don't have them, it's a really great way to jump into Bava. For a lot of people in North America, the Anchor Bay box sets, the Bava box sets, both Volume 1 and Volume 2, were a lot of people's like first like glimpses in the Bava. If you're like older like me, your first glimpses in the Bava was late night TV or Saturday afternoons when you'd have those horror shows on, and you'd get to see some of Bava's work that way. Hey, Scudder. I am so peeved with this thing right now. So what we're looking at is the Bava set, and it's going to have Black Sunday, The Girl Who Knew Too Much, Black Sabbath, Kill Baby Kill. So you should be happy. Hey, George. $5 from an August Moon for an August Moon, A Bay of Blood, Barren Blood, Lisa and the Devil, and Rabid Dog. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 Bava films. So that's actually pretty good, and it's going to be priced at around £55 right now. Hey Chris, hey Tria. I haven't heard from you guys in a while. We're talking Bava today, and Chris and Tria are awesome. They're such a cute couple. I have them on my Facebook, and they have such cool pics. Feel free, by the way, in the comment section down below to link your channels. Anytime that you're on here, if you've got a YouTube channel and you've got a video or some type or a blog or a vlog or something that you want to promote, always feel free to promote it in the video. Like I always say, put it in the comment section down below as opposed to right here, because this goes by pretty fast. But if it's in the comment section down below, people can actually see it and go to it, because there's a lot of really great YouTubers on here that come into here. I'm actually really glad about that. So my first experience with Bava was probably, oh God, I was a kid. I was like really young. And I think the first one that I saw was actually probably not one of his greatest. I know I saw Barren Blood very early. That was like one, because I was a huge, even as a kid, I was a huge Joseph Cotton fan, because I fell in love with the movie Shadow of a Doubt, like really early on in my like that was one of my first cinema loves. Like even before I knew I got to see what Black Christmas was. A Blood Black. That's a nice one. Hey, Indy Phantom, welcome, dude. Are you back in North America now, or because disconnected? Yeah. We but that was, I think that was one of my first was Barren Blood. Wasn't exactly the best one to go in with Mayor Bev, and I think the second one I saw was probably Bay of Blood. Bay of Blood was probably my second viewing when it came to like to Bava. So rather than like just go randomly all over the place, I've got my Bava collection over here, and I'm gonna bring them out, and we're gonna basically talk about the our favorite Bava stuff, and just have some kind of like Bava is different. I'm in a weird mood today, so I apologize if I seem a little bit off kilter. Bava is one of those filmmakers. Whip in the Body. Oh, that's a good one though. I like Whip in the Body. Bava's one of those filmmakers that works well as an artist too. Like as truly as as an artist, almost like a painter. His films, at times, especially some of his films, feel like paintings come to life. Back in Charlottetown for a couple months. Did you go to the drive-in? Because I never got to go. I went to like the one that I told you about. I was going to, but I didn't get to the one afterwards. They played the same movie actually this week that they played before, so it was only like one. Whip in the Body. I gotta get Whip in the Body. I don't have that. There's so many I don't have. So my first like experience as I'm getting Bava on like in physical media wise was actually this one got sent to me, but I had this one originally and I lost it, and this was this one right here. And so this is the Bava, the Anchor Base. Now I'm not sure if did this come out in the UK region as well. So this was a good way, like, to get started with your Bava stuff. So this one actually it was a pretty good set. This is just the DVD release. It had Bear and Blood on it, which is kind of wanted to go back at the time and rewatch Bear and Blood because I hadn't seen it since I was young, basically in those like creature feature days. So this one here has blind bought both of them. See, I wanted to get both of these at when CD Plus was around, and I remember I bought one of them, and I said I'll come back for the other one, no problem. I went on a trip, hey, Heroic Waffles, and what happened afterwards is well, CD Plus closed down by the time I got home, and everything was gone. So this got Lisa and the Devil and House of Exorcism. That's basically two different versions of one film. There's Bay of Blood, Bear and Blood, Kidnapped, Roy Colton and Winchester Jack. Yeah, he did westerns and stuff too. $5 for August Moon, which is one of the Giallos that he did, and Four Times That Night, which is actually. Oh, that's right. You started in collecting again. Nice. Hopefully you're getting there, dude. That's the fun of recollecting, of like re-establishing certain things. I've had to restart over so many times. But there's a joy in actually like kind of like rediscovering things, and maybe rediscovering different versions of films that you loved and you had before that may be better than what you originally had. Yeah, Four Times This Night is actually kind of a rare Bava sex comedy that's on here. So I'm going to open this box set up so I can show you guys exactly what it looks like. I do really like the aesthetic look of the set, by the way. There's a YouTuber on there, there's a guy on there that I talk to sometimes. Actually, is sending me out the first volume of this one of these days because he's been really busy. So I'll have eventually I'll have both these. So this one has $5 for an August Moon, and it has the Four Times That Night. Feature-wise on these, there weren't a lot features. I think there's some Tim Lucas commentaries on some of these. And this is Roy Colton and Winchester Jack. That one doesn't have a commentary. Some of these, I'm sure some of these have some features. Okay, so Kidnapped gets a commentary. I'm pretty sure the other name for this one is Rabid Dogs. I'm not sure if this is both versions or just one, but there's another. I'm pretty sure that the alternate title for this one is Rabid Dogs, and because I'm pretty sure that's what they called it in Delirium. Is fantastic. I love Delirium. I got the DVD of Delirium when a Shriek Show put out, but I don't have it. Yeah, Rabid Dogs is out by Arrow. They did release that one. That was his last film. I think it got completed by his son, actually, Lamberto Bava. Of course, there is Bear and Blood with Joseph Cotton and Elke Summer. Elke Summer is a really interesting character, by the way. If you look up her backstory and her history, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Elke Summer was she was married, but she had a boyfriend too, and the three of them like lived together. It was kind of like I guess at the time it would be an unconventional relationship. It's pretty much kind of par for the course for like a lot of relationships now, right? But back then I guess it was kind of different. This is Lisa and the Devil and the House of Exorcism, basically two different cuts of one film, and they both have different audio commentaries on them. Let's see, is it on the same disc? I think it is on the same disc. Yep. So just let you know what this look like, just give you kind of an idea. On the inside, you can see right there. And I do like the work that Anchor Bay put into the Bava stuff. And of course, the classic, and this one probably became like extra famous because of Friday the 13th Part 2, which lifted some of their kills from the film, even though they pretended that they didn't. They did. It's a really fun one. It's a different Jello, very different, and it's almost kind of like there's a lot of dark comedy to Bay of Blood, like serious amount of dark comedy to Bay of Blood, and it follows along the trope of usually when you think of Jellos, they're broken up into two real big categories, and one is kind of like the psychosexual Jello, with the killer having some kind of like with the black gloves and having some kind of unique kind of, usually it has to deal with like a past trauma or some kind of like psychotic or sexual thing that happened to them when they were young, whether they saw like their mother kill their dad, or they're at an orgy and they couldn't perform. Yeah, that happened too. And there's the other trope, which is basically the jet set Jello, the greedy family. There's a life insurance. There's a will, basically that's been read, and the whole family's in on an island and in a house in a certain area, and people are getting cut off one by one. So Bay of Blood follows along that trope of Jello. Bay was put out by Arrow, and you get to see some of those arrows because I do have some of them here, guys. Now the other only North American release that I bought, because I do not think Arrow has ever put this one out. And if or are they putting this one out? This is Shock, which I think was his very last. If not, it's like definitely up there because this was done in 1977, and this has some great actors in it. We get like Derry Nicolotti, John Steiner, both of them from Tenebrae. Isaac Razumov is in here as well, and Ivan Razumov. And Ivan Razumov, once you see him, he's a guy that's in a lot of these style of films. It's been a long, long time since I've seen Shock, so I will be honest with you. I don't remember this film hardly at all. I know this has one of my favorite covers. Back in the day, this was literally one of my favorite covers that I ever seen on any of my DVDs. I just thought this looked kind of like haunting, and just so unique. I don't even remember what this is about. But I remember when I bought this. I remember Derry Nicolotti, as usual. She's usually gorgeous in these things. I had a really big crush on Derry Nicolotti. I was so jealous of Argento. And then, of course, yeah, there's Asia Argento, her daughter, who's absolutely stunning. All right, so let's go through the different the different Argento, Bava releases that I got on Arrow. And there are 6 in total that I've gotten so far. I think this is all I got. And I'm trying to decide if getting the box set is going to be worth it for me, or should I just get those separate releases. I do want that book. That's the thing, but I don't know exactly how big the book's going to be. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be any extra features on there. If they had a bonus disc with some extra stuff on there, that would be tempting. Now, it has been rumored that Arrow may be losing the rights to Bava, so that could be one of the reasons that a Bava set is coming out right now. Is they're trying to renegotiate the rights to Bava. If they do get the rights back, I would, I'd bet that next year we'd probably see some of those Bava releases, much in the lines of we've seen the Argento releases over the last year or so, with when they put out like stuff like Phenomenon and Birth Crystal Plumage, and Cat o' Nine Tails, with those really good releases with the new remasters, extra features, poster cards, that type of thing. Because if they do renegotiate and get like the Bava stuff back again, that's there's always a possibility to do something like that. If not, then this box set is their last kick the can. Well, they've got the Bava got the Bava rights up. So, okay, we'll go in no particular order, but actually, ironically, this is probably one of the first Jellos ever made, and one of the Bava black and whites actually. Really good film, and this is The Girl Who Knew Too Much. I really enjoyed this. This is one of the ones that kind of like flew under the radar for me, for like a long period of time. This is not one that I knew well. I remember it had another name here because there was a different cut of the film called Killer Eye, which is a horrible name for this movie, by the way. And it's a really fun film. We get like an early John Saxon in here, and he's like super charming. A much better, much more full role than he would have when he was in than later stuff like Tenebrae and that. It probably was Rhino. But yeah, Anchor Bay. When Anchor Bay was a company that was that was on ball and doing stuff, like even back from their VHS days, Anchor Bay used to be a great company. People like see what Anchor Bay does now, and if you weren't around when they came out, Anchor Bay was the people that put out Bava. They were the people that put out Argento. They put out a lot of these directors that people didn't really notice or get have access to. When I first started, I was a really big Italian horror fan. I grew up watching a lot of Italian horror films in theater and stuff like that. So when I finally wanted to see these films, wanted to own these films, a lot of times, basically back in the VHS days, I had to send away to other countries or go through Video Search Miami and stuff like that to get like even a dubbed off copy of any Bava or Argento. So it was really great when Anchor Bay finally came along and they made it their kind of made it one of their things to actually bring these people over and let these directors be known. So amazing kudos to Anchor Bay for actually doing that. And I wish they would get back to that because Anchor Bay, unfortunately, is just a shell of what it used to be. And some of that is basically because a lot of them went over to, Creative Force, went over to Blue Underground. But this is The Girl Who Knew Too Much. If you don't have this one, I do recommend it. It's a 3-disc set, so you get the original version on here, you get the Evil Eye edition of it on here, and like many of the Bavas that are done, especially the ones here. Like if you buy the Kino Lorbers, like Kino Lorber is a great company, but if you buy the Bava on there, you're usually buying, like say you buy the Killer Eye, you buy the Killer Eye. If you want to get The Girl Who Knew Too Much, you get The Girl Who Knew Too Much. This, it's separate. It's separate purchases. This has it all on here, and the reason that it's it's not just a recut of a film when we're talking about Bava. When Bava films were brought over here to North America, they were brought over there by AIP, American International Pictures. And what would happen there is they'd take the film and they'd recut it for an American audience. They'd dub it, of course, into English language. But not only that, but they'd also rescore the film. So they'd have someone that would come in and do a brand new like musical score of the film. So when people finally got to see the actual Italian versions, a lot of times there was like huge story amounts that were missing from before. There was things sometimes even went in like in different order, and some people who really loved watching those AIP Italian films back today were kind of bummed that the score was changed. They thought, oh, it's really nice to hear the Italian score, the original score, but they kind of wanted the score from their childhood or from their youth as well. And the good thing about these Arrow box sets, or these Arrow sets, is that they give you both versions of it. So you're getting the original Italian version of the film, and you're going to get the American International Pictures version of the film. So if you grew up watching this on TV, you grew up watching any of these movies on like in drive-ins, this is the way to get the complete. This is a complete version of the most complete version of the film that's out there. In all the versions. And they also put a lot of features on here too. So we're talking about like English subtitles are on here. There's an audio commentary with Tim Lucas, of course, on here. Introduction by writer-critic Alan Jones. We get all about the girl. Where filmmakers Lucio Cosi and Alan Jones actually talk about filmmaker Lucio Cosi, Richard Stanley, and Alan Jones, and Mikhail Koven actually reflect on Bava's classic Giallo, and it's actually really good. I actually got yesterday, if you watched my video yesterday, I got Case of the Scorpion's Tail, and Mikhail, I think Koven, talks about the whole. He calls Jet Set Giallo, and he actually talks about the whole Martino Giallo range that he did. Along with that, we got international trailer, U.S. trailer, reversible cover art, of course, and illustrated collector's booklet by Kier Lejeunesse. And Kira Janice is someone I really like. I probably pronounced her name wrong too. And this is a really nice booklet. I'm saddened by the fact that you know, less of a chance to get a booklet nowadays in some of these Arrow releases. That kind of bums me out. So you really got to go on it like right away, and even then, apparently, sometimes you're not assured. I love this picture. You're not assured that you're going to get a booklet in the release, and the Arrow's like quality booklets was one of the things that really stood out, like made their company stand out originally. The booklets that they did, and they got better over time. They started like being the small white booklets, and then they have a poster with them. Then they took out the poster and they made like a more substantial booklet, and now they've gotten to the point where the booklets are only for the first printing. Yeah, that's a good one in the end. It's got 2 visual essays. Don't watch them until after you watch the film, though. It's got one with Troy Haworth and one with Mikhail Koven. Maybe it's Michael Koven. I'm probably pronouncing that all wrong. All right. Next up is one that he did with Frida, and that is Kalatiki, the Immortal Monster. This is such a fun film, and I do 110% recommend checking this out. This is a really great one. It is kind of like an Italian version of The Blob, but there's way, way more to it than that. I really hate saying that because it's super. There's super more to it than just being a Blob knockoff. There's some great stuff here. So Riccardo Fridi was a famous Italian director, and he actually did the first like Italian, spoken word, I guess worded horror film. I'm gonna get this out one of these days. This was co-directed with Mara Bava, who was kind of like a second unit director on this film. He did, if you want to know what Mara Bava did in this film, basically anytime you're seeing the monster and the creature effects and the monster, that's all being done by Mara Bava, and it looks bloody brilliant and super, super cool and kind of creepy too. You wouldn't think this would look creepy for its day, like, especially for the budget that it was, but it actually does a really great job of being like an extra creepy little film. This is a 2-disc one. As you can see, no booklet in here, so it's a shame on that. But it does have a lot of features on here as well. We're looking at a alternate full-frame presentation of the film, showcasing Mara Bava's special effects photography and all its unmatted glory. New audio commentary with Tim Lucas. And then there's a new audio commentary with Troy Haworth on here as well. From Quatermass to Celtiki, a new discussion with author and critic Kim Newman on the influence of classic monsters movies on Celtiki. Riccardo Fridi, Forgotten Master, in a archival interview with Stefano Della Casa. The genesis of Celtiki, an archival interview with filmmaker Lucio Cosi. Archival introduction to the film by Stefano Della Casa. What's really kind of cool here is there's a vintage 54-page French Celtiki photo comic that's on the Blu-ray disc of this one here. So that's actually kind of cool if you want to go in and see like a French Celtiki comic, which I did, and I thought that was really cool. Kim Newman does great stuff. Kim Newman is one of those guys who, as soon as you start to hear him talk, you get kind of excited because he's so exuberant, and he loves. You can tell that Kim Newman loves what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about, and he knows what he's talking about. I agree, Warlock. It's a fantastic release. Next up here is let's go before we go right into the classics. Is one that I strongly recommend. This is $5 for an August Moon. This one has the beautiful, like, Queen of Giallo herself, Edwige Finch is in this one. Very different one, and really enjoyable film. This one again is a 2-disc release. Luckily, I did get the booklet for this one here, and there's a beautiful finish there. Also had the What We've Done to Solange art card. I love these art cards. Used to be you'd be able to get art card in every one of them. Now you don't. Same with the booklets, damn it. Okay, so feature-wise on this one here, by the way, if you guys have any questions on any of these films or want to ask anything about them, feel free to do so. Because me talking a little bit about the film and just reading the features that are on here works better if you guys have some thoughts or thoughts or questions on any of these films. Kind of helps. We get like an audio commentary with Tim Lucas, of course. A documentary on here is a really good one. Mario Bava, Maestro of the Macabre. So if you're just getting the Bava, for instance, there's a great documentary on Bava here. It's hosted by Mark Kermode. Is it Kermode or Kermode? I can never get it right. Kermode. I'll say Kermode anyway. Featuring interviews with Joe Dante, John Carpenter, Tim Burton. So I wanted this one for the like this is one of my favorite Bava films. I wanted this for Edwige Finish, and I want it for the documentary. But actually, it's a pretty good film. It's got some nice little aspects to it, but you can kind of tell that Bava's heart isn't completely in the film. In actuality, although Edwige Finish is Kermo, oh thanks, is a well loved like actress for giallo films and Italian cinema, Bava didn't want to hire her, and he was told to hire her, so that was surprising actually. Hey John, how's it going? Hatchet for a Honeymoon, that really needs a release. I got that. I should have brought that over. I got that here somewhere on like on a really really cheap release. So I think it was double feature with something else actually, and that's the only way I've ever had Hatchet for a Honeymoon. It's always been like these really cheap releases. I've never seen a good release for it come out yet. Maybe there's a race issue with Hatchet, but I would love to see them put out a really good release of that film. All right. So next up is the classic Bava, Bava with Barbara Steele, and that is Black Sunday. If you have not seen this movie, you know this. It's the 11th, right? The sale is still on. If this is on the sale, get that film. Or if you're not going to get the box set, just get this film. This is a seminal horror film that belongs in everybody's collection. It is a classic for a reason. Again, this is one of their big 3-disc sets, and I really love the way this looks. So it is utterly gorgeous. It is a gorgeous looking set, and if you want to talk about features, we're going to talk features here. Again, if you have never seen this, please, like, this is one to get on. This is classic Bava. This is top tier stuff for his work. Anyway, so you got the two versions of the film here. Thanks, Paul. I'm glad to get somebody talking on here. We got like Masca Satan, the European version that was scored with the original score by Roberto Nicolosi, and Black Sunday, which is the re-edited version of the film, which redubbed by AIP by Les Baxter, who was the redub. He basically did a lot of the scores for AIP. So anytime you see like an AIP release of like an Italian film, a lot of times it's Les Baxter that's doing the score for the film. You're going to get 3 audio versions here. You're going to get the original Italian one, the European English one, and the AIP English one. Oh, dude, Indie Phantom, this is one you got to check out, man. This is true classic horror. Audio commentary, of course, with Tim Lucas. Introduction to the film by Alan Jones. Interview with star and horror icon Barbara Steele. We get deleted scenes from the Italian version with notes by Tim Lucas. What's really cool about this release is you also get I Vampiri, the 1956 film, which is the Italy's first sound horror film, which are the words I was trying to get at earlier, directed by Riccardo Fredi and Mara Bava. So if you got Kotiki, for instance, you got to get this one. This one has not only has one of the great classic Italian horror great classic horror films of all time, but also gives you the first Italian sound horror film that ever came out. I Vampiri is on here as well. Now that film, along with that, we get like a trailer reel, basically trailers of all the major works by Mara Bava, including some rarities from the early part of his career. The booklet, and which has an interview actually about I Vampiri in here as well. So this is seriously a must. Out of all, if you're going to start getting Bava, this is one of the ones you start with. This is the tent pole of Italian horror cinema, of like classic cinema. This goes up there for me. This is up there with the Hammers, up there with the Universal horrors. That's for me it is that big of a release. She was in the 90s one with Ben Cross. She was in that. Hey, Meising. I hope I hit that right. I gotta mispronounce something at least once or twice. So next up is Black Sabbath. Now this is an anthology horror portmanteau. So basically this creeped the hell out of me when I was a kid. This really, really did. And the one that creeps the hell out of me is called The Drop of Water. Though there are some really great stuff on this one. There's the telephone, The Drop of Water, and the Word Lock. Tim Lucas commentaries, I can just sit down and listen to them all day long. No, then I'm one of those sad people too, because I love commentaries. Barbara Steele has never gotten enough credit, which is a shame. I always recommend, like, if you ever go in to get like something Severn, if Severn has a sale, always get the Barbara Steele, the Castle Blood one that came out, because that's like a really good release that highlights Barbara Steele's work. Black Sabbath. What's really cool about this one is when I say the this is the first Sabbath you saw. That's a good first one. When I say there's a difference, and this is where the differences come in. And basically, the European version of this film and the American version of this film, the stories are in different order. The stories are in a completely different order, and there's a different ending depending on if you watch the American version or the European version. So it's there's some serious differences. It's not just like a different dubbing or like having a different soundtrack. No, there's some serious differences in this one. So it's nice to go in to get the Arrow release there, so you can watch the European version of this film with its original score, or you can watch the American version of the film. And again, it's cut in a different way, with the stories order changed around, and it does make a difference. Actually, I do find the European version work better with the Les Baxter score. Again, we get like an audio commentary with Tim Lucas, a really great like English subtitle translation for this one here on the Italian audio. There's Twice the Fear, a new featurette examining the differences between the two versions of the film, which is really fun to check out. I do recommend checking it out once you've seen the film. That was, I actually tell you what, I'll talk about that afterwards, because highway, because people have been coming on side like the Kino fence or the Lynch fence, and I have an opinion on it as well. He put it the commentary for people to get like a free of charge, and he didn't have to do that, which is really nice of Tim Lucas. There's a new featurette. Okay, I did that one. Introduction to the film with Alan Jones, a life and film and interview with the star Mark Damon. He did a lot of stuff actually. There's international trailer, U.S. trailer, Italian trailer, TV and radio spots, and of course, because it's back in the day, you actually did get a booklet, and not just any booklet. This is a big booklet with a lot of great writing in here. So for like when they're doing a smaller book, let's have a 30-something page book. That was actually pretty cool. And I'll let you see the alternate artwork here as well. So this is the one that I use. This is the Arrow artwork, and this is the original artwork. Bava's truly an artist. It should be a good transfer. I see nothing wrong with what Kino Lorber did. They wholeheartedly went out and tried to get Lynch to help with the film. They did a bunch of features on the film itself, and to me, my thought is that Lynch just wants his movie to go to Criterion, and he's upset that it's going to the lesser company of Kino Lorber, and it's not going to a Criterion where his films belong, and that bothers me. That bugs the hell out of me, actually. Anyways, my thoughts on that. Blood and Black Lace. This is the classic, guys. This is the giallo. They gave you the black glove killers. The kind of like really cool. This is a more atmospheric. The cinematography in this film is utterly gorgeous. The way the colors are done, the way this is shot, it is a beautiful film. It is a beautifully gorgeous film. Even the murders are beautiful, and it would really kind of help set the standard for what we would see with the giallos to come. Great stuff, and get an early, Cameron Mitchell, of course, back before he did everything, is in this one here, and he's great in this film. With this one here, we get like a ton of stuff. It's again another 3-disc release, and a beautiful one at that. They did put out a steelbook of this. I wanted both arts of this, which was great. Actually, this was sent to me. This was a gift, and it was a very generous gift, by the way. So on here we got like the basically optional subtitles on here. Brand new audio commentary by Tim Lucas, of course. Psychoanalysis, a new documentary on blood and black lace and the origins of the giallo genre, featuring interviews with director Dario Argento, Lamberto Bava, screenwriter Ernesto Gastaldi. Ernesto Gastaldi did a lot of like, he worked a lot with Martino, but he did a lot of like writing. If you look up giallos and you look up Ernesto Gastaldi, there's a lot, he did a lot of work, man. Critics Robert Curti and Steve Della Caso. I think that's probably the Americanization of Stefano Della Caso. And crime novelists Sandrone Dazzari and Carlo. I'm gonna names I can't pronounce, or I'll pronounce wrong. An appreciation by Helen Kitay and Bruno Forzani. The creative duo behind the mirror and the strange colors of your body's tears. Yellow, the much acclaimed Neo Giallo by Ryan Hampson. It's a Blu-ray exclusive. Gender in Giallo, visualized by Michael McKenzie, featuring Giallo's relationship with social upheavals of the 60s and 70s. A panel discussion on Mayor Bava featuring Argento Bava. Oh, hold on a second. We'll be right back. All right, live streams. This is what happens. Who knocked on my door? Whoever could it be? Well, all right. Nice enough, fellow. Not my thing, but still. Nothing wrong with being polite, right? Okay, there is a panel discussion. We get the Sinister Image, Cameron Mitchell, an episode of Dave DeVal's television series devoted to the star of Blood and Black Lace, presented in full. Alternate U.S. opening titles, sourced from Joe Dante's private print of the film. There's also the booklet, which is actually in here. Gotta love that. And of course, this has coffee for the art card. Pam Grier is so gorgeous. The infamous, mysterious Giallo killer. Well, obviously, there's a lot more Argento Bava films that are out there that I don't have yet in my collection. That's why I kind of want the Bava box set, but I don't know if I can really justify the pricing of it. My God, you guys are so quiet today. Did I choose the wrong time of day to do this video? I've been trying recently to do like an earlier like time slot, so that hopefully more people can get in and check out the videos that maybe haven't that don't normally get access to be able to watch them. So hopefully that's been going okay. I'm going to open up my thing to grab the bad box. Do you have many of them, Warlock? It's much better for you. The only downside for me, and I'll be honest, recently is like when I did the Secret Room video, like recently, I'm going to say I was super impressed with the way that video went. And you guys were really interactive. And that's a huge part of this. I'll try to keep doing the Twitter announcements as well. because as far as this style video goes, like I'm gonna do some pre-tape videos as well. The only problem I have with the pre-tape stuff is that truth of the matter is not as many people watch the pre-tape stuff as watch in the live videos, which is a shame because I guess people aren't interested in just listening to me talk. Danger Diabolique is another good one. Does that have a good release anywhere? I'm trying to think. I mean, like Shock hasn't had a really good release, except for like that the version I showed you is about as good as a release as it's gotten so far. I don't think there's ever been a Blu-ray of Shock, and I don't think Danger Diabolique has that one even gotten a Blu-ray release? I'd have to check, because there's so much left to come out that that I wonder. Oh, sure, thanks a lot. That's why you got to keep those older releases of Twin Peaks, by the way. I got like an old DVD. I think the first season. What's the first or second one of? Maybe it's the second season of Twin Peaks. Because those you do lose certain things. That's the thing. People say I'm only going to collect Blu-ray. Blu-ray's all I'm going to get, and that type of thing. And then you realize like so much get lost along the way. Let's Rich, nice. So much gets lost along the way. I remember when The Entity came out on Blu-ray. This is one I kind of always go to. And people were like, finally, The Entity's on Blu-ray. It came out like just a normal Blu-ray, right? But when you picked it up, you lost like some of the features that were on the DVD. I think it was like a documentary or something that was on The Entity that wasn't on the Blu-ray. When I rebought like I don't know if you can see it over there. You can't see it here, but I got the Amityville horror set, right? And that Scream Factory put out. Great release with 3D for Amityville 3, right? But there was a extra bonus disc on the original like DVD MGM set that came out that had a couple hour-long documentaries. So although I didn't rebuy the box set, I did find at a flea market that bonus disc, that Amityville Confidential bonus disc that was on the MGM set. So I could have like a complete Amityville collection. I like that Scream Factory tries to get as much as he can when it comes to that. Pajama Girl case. No, I don't remember it. I mean, I like to think I have because I've seen a lot, but I don't own it. So we'll go with no, because I don't own it, so I haven't seen it yet. Until I actually own it and I can actually watch it again and honestly say, okay, that's that film. Got 5 Bath movies and we get in the box set no matter what. Nice, that's nice. It is a gorgeous looking box set. I can't deny it. And the work that Arrow puts into their sets is insane. There's some good stuff coming out over there. Is everybody excited about Halloween yet? Have we all gotten to that point? Because it's July and I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about Halloween. I'm anticipating the Halloween releases that'll be coming out. Obviously, like I told everybody that was here yesterday, over the Halloween holidays, I am going to be reviewing all the Hills Have Eyes films, and that's going to be fun. That'll be done on my channel in October, from the originals to the new ones. Your wallet isn't. Nobody's wallet is. What type of stuff do you like, Cinema Dave? Like I've seen some of your videos, but you're John Watson. I wish. What type of stuff do you like when it comes to Arrow? I love Halloween, because there's including Mind Ripper. Yes, I'm actually going to do Mind Ripper too, because nobody does it. So why not? So let's go over here, and Cinema Dave asked about Arrow video. So this entire shelf, all the way down to here, this entire shelf is all Arrow video stuff. Now it really depends on the type of stuff that you're into. Now, I have like a lot of these releases here. Some of these are out of print. If you like the Long Good Friday is a fantastic release. If you like that type of stuff. Now, as Jesse says, he thinks Giallo when he thinks of Arrow. So if you're thinking Giallo when you think of Arrow, then there's a ton of Giallo releases. There's everything from Deep Red. Now there's a regular edition of this one. This was like the limited edition that came out back in the day. If you want to start off with like, oh man, it's too bad it's out of print. But if you're a spaghetti western fan, nothing beats this here complete Sartana set. It was an incredible release. They did extremely well with that. Some people have been finding like copies of George Romero's Between Night and Dawn. Again, a fantastic release. Giallo wise, we got like the Black Cat, Missing Buckets, the Death Walks Twice. This is really good. If you can get these even on their own, the Killer Dame set is really good as well. Your Vice's Lock Room and Only I Have the Key. If you want a Giallo Cinema Dave, that's one of the first ones that I recommend you go with. If you want just like a classic film, like say even like a Southern Gothic, right? Scalpel is a really good film. It's just way too close to my face. Let's do this. American Horror Story sets. Yeah, if you're a fan of regional horror, and I'm a huge fan of regional horror, and especially the really different, unique horror, I always got to say that's cool. That's the way to go. If you like documentaries, you can kind of like do like a 2-in-1. Word of the Eye has a great documentary with the director about the director, and Donald Cammell has a unique story about his life. He died way young. Very interesting one. If you want to find out, you want to get an excellent movie, which is Mark the Devil, and see a documentary on the pretty much the change of the guard in British horror, like from Gothic to this more kind of realistic, kind of newer kind of like British horror thing. That's on here. There is a Remo Williams release that has a documentary on it. These are all feature-length, full-length documentaries, by the way, on 1980s action films. So if you like 1980s action films, then that's one to definitely pick up. I do think that they do a great job with their blaxploitation films as well. But if you're a documentary fan, then right off the bat, Word of the Eye, Mark the Devil, Remo Williams, those three right there, each have not just some like really great films on them, but they got some really good like documentaries as well. And of course, anytime that they put out releases like this, like The Thing or Cat o' Nine Tails, they put out some really kind of really sexy. And these are hard boxes too. They're not like the thin ones like they used to do. And if you like the classic films, like the Criterion style stuff, then Arrow actually breaks it up between Arrow Video and kind of their sub-label, which is Arrow Academy. Arrow Academy, you'll find that they do a lot of their film noir, their classic, like the Burt Lancaster releases, stuff like that, will all be done with the Arrow Academy stuff. But again, like amazing stuff that is coming from Arrow with stuff like that. And hands down, those American Horror Project ones were really great releases, and I think that with each one of those, they keep getting better. If you're a J-horror fan, that Ring collection that they recently put out, it's worth its weight in gold. Not only do you get some like classic like J-horror with the Ring and stuff like that, but you get some great visual essays, and they are super good when it comes to visual essays. So Cinema Dave, that's kind of their thing. Visual essays are they do it better than anyone else, and I do include like Criterion and companies like that in there. Arrow does the best visual essays because they get the best people for them. Whether it's like a Jasper Sharp talking about J-horror, or it's like a Tri Holworth, or talking about like one of the Giallos, or getting like a Tim Lucas or a Kim Newman interview. You'll be really excited. Vinegar Sam's announcements are any minute now. Well then, it's good we're live then, isn't it? Because let's see if we can see if Vinegar Syndrome puts up their announcements. Since this is my Society, that was a great release. If you're a fan of like comic books and stuff, they actually put the limited edition of Society, they put out like the comic book sequel, which I thought was brilliant. Come on, announcements. Yeah, I was about to end this video. I was going to make this a short video, and then somebody said Vinegar Syndrome announcements, and I'm like, okay, maybe we can get this going for a few more minutes and see exactly what they're going to announce. Apparently, the TV series How to Get Away with Murder was just canceled, after its 6th season. So, also, I got to say, while we're waiting for that, I watched the TV series Scream. I guess the season 3, which is completely different than the first 2 seasons. It ran 6 episodes over 3 nights. It was extremely good, and the haters were wrong, especially with the way it ended. Uh, Skinner, if you don't own Skinner, that is a great one, especially for the UK. Like I got the Halloween package last year. Remember when they did the Jello package? Skinner came in that package. Fantastic, fantastic film. If you don't have it, I mean, uh, look, in the second week of okay, so we don't have to wait for those announcements. Sorry about that, but when the announcements are made, I'll do a video shortly after talking about that. Now, one thing that has been announced though is that 101 Films is putting out 2 more releases, and one of them is Your Wife is Smart. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't guess who the main killer was. Have I seen the new? I saw the first few episodes, and I was working at the time, so I never got to watch the rest of it. You got the 7 release. You wonder if it's worth double dipping on. Let's look at it. But I did like what I saw of the Purge series. It seemed fun. 101 Films. That's the new Black Label one, right? Because Black Label is is kind of their high range stuff. Skinner and Rabbit are the 2 new ones that are coming out, by the way, guys, on 101 Films Black Label. So let's look see what they got in the Skinner release. I have the Severin edition, much like Warlock does. And let's see the differences. So there's a limited edition booklet in there. I'm not sure how big the 101, like I don't have any Black Label, so I don't know how big the booklets are. There's a hard case. The features look to be exactly the same, as far as I can tell, right? The features are the same, right? Because I remember all these here. All right, just give me a second here, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, all the features look to be the same. If you don't have it and you live in the UK, for instance, I definitely recommend it because they're really, really good like features on here. Like I mentioned on here after I watched Skinner, that the interviews are incredible, especially the one from the editor. Uh, but I mean, I can't like justify buying it for just for the hard box and the booklet. If it was on like a big sale type thing, I don't have any Black Labels yet, but I think if I get a Black Label, let's see what's on Rabbit. I got Rabbit's. I got the Arrow edition of Rabbit, and that is incredible. Okay, Rabbit's different though. Okay, Rabbit has as the Quiet Revolution, State Society, and the Canadian Horror Film, Part 1, Gimme Shelter, Cinepex, and the Birth of Canadian Horror Film, a brand new feature-length documentary exploring the social context behind Canadian horror cinema from filmmaker and author Xavier Mendick. So I definitely want that. As you guys know, I'm a huge Canadian. I'm a Canucksploitation. I'm from Canada. I'm a Canucksploitation fan. I grew up around the time that all these were being made. I don't think you can just get happen. Oh, but yeah, I want the rabbit one. Like if I'm gonna get either one of these, uh, I'd go with rabbit. That's definitely the one to go with for me. Like I got Skinner, and all the features are the same. Am I gonna get 101's Black Christmas? I wish I could. I can't afford it right now because the sale's going on. Um, a- Anybody wants to send me some 101 films, feel free. Uh, but yeah, no. Out of the two of them that are out there, if you don't have Skinner, definitely it's a great one to get. Uh, but if you But out of the two there, Rabbit is probably the best release. Like if you already got Skinner, you don't need to double dip on Skinner. But Rabbit has a documentary, all new documentary. That's something to double dip on. Actually, I have ordered from 101 Films. I've the only 101 films I got are directly ordered from the company themselves. Their packaging was actually pretty good, if I remember correctly. They actually packaged it pretty well. There was no kind of like crushing or anything like that. They all came, they all came really well packaged, and I had no problem at all with the releases. They were done really well. Their sale has been incredible. I actually did a video about the sale that they have on the go right now, which is like £6 for like just some Blu-rays that are amazing stuff. Even like like the black label. I mean that regularly goes like for £15, like which is their premium price, or two for 25, which that's not bad for two like premium titles with hard boxes and like and their the booklets and their extra bonus features and that. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on Rabbit, that's for sure. That's definitely one that's on my radar. But has anybody picked up anything from the 101 film sale? I'd be interested to know if anybody's like dove into it yet since we made that video, and actually went out and said, I got to get some of their stuff, because I mean they put out some really great stuff. Like people get super excited when like over here when Scream Factory puts out some of these films, or Shout Factory does. But 101 Films does it, and like people sometimes don't blink an eye. Like they put out Into the Night as well. Shout Select put out their Into the Night. 101 Films put out Into the Night as well. They put out both of the FX films. They put out the Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. If it's two for 25, what would I get with Rabbit? Good question. Actually, I was thinking about that. I actually looked around. For me, it could go one of two ways. I could get you're getting Nightmares, and you get Class of 1984. I could go with like Class of 1984, though I do have a good release of that. Ring box set or American Horror do you have Volume 1 of the American Horror Project, Kobe? Because those are both great releases. Like that Ring set. Now, one, do you like J horror? That's going to be an important thing. Like asking if it's the Ring box set or the American Horror box set is sort of new to Arrow. No, that's fine. Basically, the American Horror Project, Kobe, is kind of like it's mostly regional horror. So basically, a kind of really good, kind of low budget, micro budgeted films that usually uses like people from around that area. Really great stuff, and the new box set is incredible. They put out 3 really cool releases. One of them is a John Hayes film, and John Hayes is a guy that's done quite a bit, including Grave the Vampire. And actually, that's probably one of the weaker ones on the set, which is saying something, because I do think John Hayes is pretty solid. The Child has been one that's been like a really well touted, but I think the other release, which his name escapes me right now, on that set, has been the one that everybody's been. I think it's called Dark August, that everybody's been talking about and like raving about. No, it's a great set. There are some great features on each of those films, like talking about it, like really letting you know. Now, if you're a super J horror fan, for instance, my kids, for instance, are huge fans of J horror and K horror. So for them, there wouldn't be like any guessing at all. It would be like they get the ring set because you get the 4 rings. You get ring, you get ring 2, you get raison, which is the other ring 2, and you get ring 0, and you get a documentary on the ring, the legacy ring, the ring franchise, and on the third disc on ring 0, you get a documentary on J horror done by Jasper Sharp, which actually talks about like the whole J horror altogether. I don't think they really do. I mean, that's true. They're both fantastic sets. So no rings. Yeah, you're safe for that. But either way, man, Kobe. To be honest with you, it really depends on what you like more. If you like more kind of the cheaper, different like micro budget horror films, get yourself the American Horror Project Volume 2. If you're, and that one's more limited, I think, than the ring set is. If you're a J horror fan and you want to know more about J horror and you want to see like a really good like restoration of Ring, because they do a really new 4K restoration of Ring, that's really good. That'll sell too. Now I gotta say though, both of them have been selling well this time around. You think that the Ring was going to go to print? I know that the first volume of the Ring, like collection, went out of print. I didn't know if the second volume that they put out, the second, like the re-release, was one that was limited as well. Good to know though. I got asked so what I would pick for a second like black label. Trespass is really good, but I'd probably go with the Grifters. The first press, not a problem. Tell you what, I'll grab them actually, because I have them over there. Well, I got the ring set over there. Let me go get the American Horror Project, and I'll show you. I'll show you each of the releases. Maybe that'll help you make your decision. So watch me run up over the stairs. All right. Hopefully I was not too long. Grifters is a personal favorite of mine, Indy. There's actually some personal reasons behind that I'm so not going to list on this channel. Okay, so Kobe, here's both the sets. Hopefully this will give you a better idea. So here is the American Horror Project Volume 2. As you can see it does have a J card there. It's, one of those half cards like that. It's kind of a J card. Ton of features on here, so I'm just going to take them out and I'll show you exactly what they look like. So I've turned it over to the alternate artwork. So this is Dream New Evil. This is John Hayes. Is he really? This is Dark August. This is supposed to be one that's really, really good. This is The Child. Look at this cover. This is an awesome looking cover. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't gotten through both volumes yet, to be completely honest with you. And this is one neat thing, is that it actually comes with this this kind of like this book, this kind of booklet. Well, book at the point that it's like 58 pages. It's kind of a book. With some great write-ups from Amanda Rees, Stephen R. Bissett. Yeah, that's the cartoonist Bissett, and Travis Crawford, and some really, really cool stuff in here. Extremely well done. So that's the feature-wise. We're looking at audio commentary with Kate Ellinger and Sam Deegan. If you're not familiar with them, they're really, really good. They actually do a podcast called Daughters of Darkness, and they do a lot of commentaries. They're really good at it. Melancholy Dreamer, a video appreciation of Dream Evil by Stephen Thrower. Hollywood After Dark, the early films of John Hayes. Looking at the director, Edmund O'Brien, an actor for all seasons, who you see in a lot of this type of stuff. And on Dark August, you're going to get Dark August Revisited with Stephen Thrower, a brand new audio commentary with writing director Martin Goldman. Mad Avenue to Mad Dogs, a brand new on-camera interview with the director. Don't Mess with the Psychic, brand new on-camera interview with producer Marianne Cantor. And The Hills Are Alive, Dark August, and Vermont Folk Horror. That's actually what I'm really looking forward to checking out. Is it worth it for the doc? It's not really like consider like it's not like a full-length documentary. This is not like a 90-minute like Arrow documentary. It's more like probably like a 25, 30-minute type of thing. I think around that, if I remember it correctly. But this set is worth it. I mean, it's worth. This set is it's a gorgeous set, and especially if you picked up the first ones. Now this is a Ring collection. One thing I will say is that the book is missing that was in the original like first print of the Ring collection. However, the trade-off is the box art for this Ring collection is 10 times better than the box art from the original Ring collection. And I love the way these are done. I just like the whole like she's getting closer to you type thing to the art. So feature-wise in this, we've got a brand new 4K restoration of the Ring, new audio commentary with film historian David Callett, the Ring Legacy, a new series of interviews from critics and filmmakers on the memories of the Ring series and its enduring legacy, a Vicious Circle, a new video interview with author and career critic Kat Ellinger and on the career of Hado Nakata, Circumventing Ring, a new video essay by author and critic Alexandra Heller Nicholas on the evolution of the Ring series, Sadako's video, so that's really cool there. On the Ring 2, you get Raison, the other version on Sparrow, which is the other sequel to the Ring. It came out around the same time that the Ring did in Japan. The Psychology of Fear, newly edited archival interview with Koji Suzuki. On the third one, you get a really, really fantastic video essay called Spook, Size, and Videotape, which is a documentary, well, a video essay on J-horror, and it goes really in depth. It's really good. And there's a great new audio commentary by Alexandra Heller Nicholas. So hopefully that hasn't made it worse and made it a little bit easier on deciding which one you want to get first. I know that this one for sure is it's limited, and it's and the book is still there. So you get this, still get the book. All right, now let's see what questions you guys asked that I didn't see, since I was running around. Whoa. Why is Arrow so cool? Color for Pomegranate. I haven't seen that yet. Do I prefer Volume 1 or Volume 2? I'm not quite sure. I know that Malatista's Carnival of Blood is quickly becoming one of my favorite films. I must have watched it around 5 times now, which makes it hard when I get a film that I really like, and I should be watching some of the films that I haven't seen, and then I just get stuck on this one. The Loraz set, that's over there. The Loraz set is gorgeous. Now, Loraz did like so many, like, I think there were 5 films in England, and 3 of them are on that set. There's Whirlpool. There's Coming of Sin, which has another more interesting title, and of course there's Vampires or Vampires, which came from the sea. That's the only one I knew, I think, from the original one. I didn't watch Robo War. I haven't got that one yet. Severn put that out, didn't they, Kathy? I actually gotta grab that release next. I usually like grab 7 releases. Like when I go up to Ontario or something like that, I'll go into a Bay Street Video, because they usually have a nice selection of stuff like that. If you're in the Ontario area, you're in the Toronto area, definitely check out Bay Street Video, because they have a lot of like really good stuff. Which one? Shocking Dark or Robo Wars? Because I don't have Robo Wars yet, but I do have Shocking Dark. Shocking Dark's really good. Shocking Dark's a lot of fun. Shocking Dark is Aliens with Terminator. So waiting on the Bav says, we all are. I actually rewind this video to after, not yet, but afterwards, and you'll hear us like talking a bit about Bav and like different films that he put out. That's a really good set. If you don't have any, like, and I know you don't have like the releases, so that's a really good one. That's right. Yeah, Warlock, you are close to there, aren't you? Because you know people that works at Bay Street Video. The next time I go there, I'm gonna see if I can actually, maybe I can bring my iPad or my iPhone or something, and maybe do like, because I did some, and do like, and actually maybe I'll interview them, something like that. That'd be fun. Hopefully they like that. I'm so glad. I know I heard that, and I'm actually super glad that they did get those releases. Because I was kind of hoping that I heard people, and I think it was you that on the website that actually said, on the Facebook page, it said, you should have Bay Street Video carry these. Barbara Steele. Barbara Steele's gorgeous. I had such a crush on Barbara Steele, especially like Shivers Barbara Steele too. Yeah, they do seem like actually pretty good guys. The day that I left Ontario, actually I went down. There was the middle of a storm too, right? And I was waiting for my cab to come. My better half was going to pick me up. We were going to Denny's, and I just bought like a couple more releases because I'd gone back there several times. And the manager came out and he talked to me for a nice while. Really, really, really nice guy. Made me wish I'd even bought more there, and I spent a fortune over there. Arrow Hellraiser box set, half price books. Ooh, $300. Are you serious? Man, you can buy the other Arrow box set. No problem, Kobe. Good luck there, and let us know what you get. Come back again and let us know what you pick up. I need another Paul Nash. I need a Paul Nash set that deals more with his werewolf movies. That's what I need. I want Beast of the Magic Sword. I want like what's the name of the one I really liked? The devil. It's getting the Laraz set. Well, that actually is a really good set, Jesse. I got that set. It's right behind me there. Can you see it? Can you find the Laraz set in the background? Yeah, it's the one with the yellow. But there we go, guys. It's 72 minutes. One of my shorter videos, I guess. I am going to go watch something. I think I am going to watch that Vermont Horror featurette on Dark August, because I love you're just like moths to a flame, man. Like moths to a flame. No Vinegar Syndrome today, unfortunately, but we will get into. So next video coming up, you guys have requested certain things. I did this Mary Bava one per request. But is there anything you guys would like to see in the near future? Any company you want me to look into? Any directors? Any genre of film? Are there any like sales or anything coming up that you think we should go into? I did the full moon video as requested by Kathy. Full Chief Friday type thing. Actually, that's not a bad idea. We did the Bava. We nailed in the Bava one. And next up, the Fulci one's a good idea. I do want to do an Argento one as well, an Argento-centric one. I'll do different directors. But we'll get into some some Western stream. I gotta talk to Jace actually. I gotta talk to Jace really soon to set that up. He's gonna kill him. He's gonna be like he's gonna think I forgot him, and I didn't. But we will be looking at the Arrow Academy announcements tomorrow because I know they're gonna be announcing some stuff. Folds in the Flesh. I don't think I have. Top 10 Arrow Video Store employee picks. Top 10 Canadian horror films. That's a good one too. Exploitation one. I've been wanting to do that for a while, and I did try to talk about Canadian films once when I was on here before, and it didn't do that well, unfortunately. Giallo will always be put in there, but with that Vincent Price. Ooh, I do have some Vincent Price cool box sets. I do have the Neo to Print Scream Factory set and the Neo to Print Arrow set because I roll that way. I like my Vincent Price. So guys, with that, I am Aaron. I'll actually be when the Vincent when the Vincent releases are announced. My God, what's wrong with my mouth today? We'll actually be talking about those as well. Top 10 Friday the 13th films. No, you might actually get that now. I am Aaron. You guys are the movie club. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. I'm tongue-tied today. I apologize. Have a great evening there, and I will probably, hopefully, sort of, kind of, maybe, see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.